2008 World Champions of Baseball.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Now entering the game for Philly Pressbox Radio, Bill Furman and Jim Chet Chesko.
It's Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, and the Philadelphia Eagles are 4-0, and the Philadelphia Phillies are NLDS champions. Welcome to the Philly Pressbox Radio Roundtable, brought to you by the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, PA, Cavs, Philly Tailgates, and the STT Sports Network. I'm Bill Furman. I'll be your host tonight, along with my partner, Jim Chet Chesko. And Chet, the Eagles rolled into Tampa to face the undefeated Buccaneers, came out with a win. Phillies finished the regular season with 96 wins. I think that's a little more than you and I predicted.
Yeah.
And now wait until Saturday to face the winner of the Reds and Dodgers series. It's Red October, baby. Time to get it going. You got to see Ray Didinger's new play spinner over the weekend. We'll talk about that. The Flyers open their season in just 8 days. Let's go. I'm ready for that. We have plenty to talk about in Philly sports. And oh yeah. The other great news for the week, Chet, is we're not Mets fans watching the playoffs.
All true, Bill. Yeah, an epic collapse by those stinking Mets. What a shame. I mean, we're going to miss them. Nope. Certainly an exciting time, though, on the Philly sports scene. Although the Eagles, yeah, they're 4-0, but there's a little drama behind the scenes.
It's all fixed.
The wide receiver did address that today, so I didn't listen to every bit of it, but hopefully things are okay there.
It's all good.
Yeah, and yes, another Red October. This is an annual tradition of late, which we love. And I have a hunch it's going to be the Dodgers coming to Philly this weekend, the way it's looking.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's really a big surprise. And you know what? You got to beat them. You got to beat them to get there, get it done, right?
Absolutely. Hey, before we move on, anybody who's watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe right now. We just picked up a couple of new subscribers over the past week. We need to keep adding to that list. So if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and you'll be glad you did.
Absolutely. Hey, we have great guests tonight in WIP's James Seltzer, but Chet, we had a change of plans, unfortunately. Tell us what happened with James.
Well, you know, I was listening yesterday to the afternoon show on WIP, and I heard Jack Fritz mention that he and James Seltzer would be covering this evening's Phillies scrimmage at the ballpark. 31,000 people there. It is happening right now as we speak. And I immediately thought, oh, great for those guys. And I said, wait, James Seltzer is supposed to be on our show this evening, Wednesday at 7:00. So I immediately texted James. He said, yeah, they just made that decision yesterday, the folks at WIP in connection with the Phillies. So he did at least find some time for me. Just a couple of hours ago, a little after 4:00, we got together and we did talk, and we have that chat all recorded and ready to go.
Well, you know, it's hard to believe, Chet, that he would choose the Phillies scrimmage over me and you. But here we are, right?
He loves coming on our show. He said that, and he's now a member of the 10 Timers Club, his 10th visit. So, wow. Yeah, we did get it together, and it was a great chat.
All right. Well, let's hear what James had to say. I think you talked some Eagles and Phillies, didn't you?
Absolutely. Here we go. Great time of year to talk Philly sports with this guy. You know him from the WIP morning show, plus the High Hopes and Go Birds shows that he co-hosts. James Seltzer, how the heck are you?
Chet, it's always a pleasure to be on the Philly Press Box. You know, it's really the only podcast other than mine that I ever go on. So, you know I'm a fan, Chet.
I love it. Well, James, believe it or not, it has been 1 full year since we had you on with us.
Oh, my goodness.
In fact,
I feel like I always come on around now with the Phillies playoffs, the Eagles.
Yeah.
I thought it was a double a year thing. So
it was the first Wednesday of last October. In fact, I titled last year's YouTube show of ours, Another Phillies Red October, New Eagles Concerns, James Seltzer Visits. Could use that same exact title this year, right?
Yeah, let's hope this time we win 2 titles instead of just 1 after.
Yes,
yeah, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk Phillies baseball and Eagles football, I heard you say something on the radio about a month ago that kind of caught me by surprise. You played high school football. Forgive me for being caught off guard by that, but I do remember you saying your team was not very good.
Horrible. Yeah, horrendous. Horrendous. We
And
won
you played what position?
0 games my junior year and 2 my senior year. So yeah, it was not a I was an offensive guard and a defensive tackle. I started as a tight end, and I was heavier in high school, about 50 pounds heavier. So
wow.
Started as a tight end because I had good hands, but then moved to guard because I could pull, and I like playing D tackle the most. So, but
Gotcha.
yeah, I was bigger, and also the level of competition was smaller. So both things allowed me to compete.
I hear you. Well, your team wasn't very good, and the Eagles' offense hasn't been very good so far this season.
No, we were worse, believe it or not. So,
they keep winning, but I mean, the first half of the Rams game and the second half of the Bucs game were both dreadful. What has been the key issue in your view?
Oh, I mean, I think there's been a few issues. I think if you had to point to one single thing, and, again, the first month of the season, we remember last year to the point when we talked last year and they were heading into the bye, and then the Cleveland game, and everyone wanted Sirianni fired, and then they became the single greatest Eagles team we've ever seen in our lifetime. So, I'm very big on not overreacting the first month of the season. I'm sure I've said that on this show before in the past.
Yes.
I've thought it for years and years and years and years. I've thought ever since they changed the CBA and the way they change preseason and preseason practices and the way teams value health and all that, and the way that roster turnover and all these things, I just think it's really hard to take a lot away from the first month of the season outside of injuries and stuff like that. But outside of those type of caveats, I think the biggest problem is from the offensive line. And it's something I never thought I would say, Chet, like on this show, on WIP, on Go Birds, the pod, whatever. But I think it clearly so far. And look, Jalen hasn't been perfect. I think he's played some damn good football in some spots. He's had a couple halves that were as good as he has looked. I understand the wide receivers have not gotten the targets, but I think it all comes back to the offensive line. The offensive line is the thing that's made this team go for so long, and they've really struggled. I mean, they've not been able to get it going in the running game, and part of that is Saquon diminished a bit after all the touches last year.
Sure.
I don't even think we can know yet because he hasn't gotten the opportunity because the O-line has struggled so much to create these holes. Then in the passing game too, and Saquon struggled there too. Saquon in pass protection has struggled. Landon Dickerson has looked nothing like the player we know him to be, obviously coming off the injury to start the season. Right. Lane Johnson's missed pretty much all of the last 2 games after starting both. There's been a lot of turnover in terms of guys not playing together. So for me, and again, I can't say I'm concerned about it all year because of Jeff Stoutland, because of the talent and all that. But right now, the offensive line to me is the clear biggest issue on offense.
My co-host Bill is a big Jalen Hurts guy. I know you are as well.
Mm-hmm.
An elite quarterback, though, should not be 0 for 8 throwing in a half as Hurts was last Sunday against Tampa. You agree?
No, not necessarily. So, I mean, I don't look at it that way. I understand, I think we do too much of the numbers and the throws. I mean, Justin Herbert just lost the freaking Giants. Where's everyone talking about that? Justin Herbert, MVP candidate 3-0, and then he loses to the freaking Giants. You know what Jalen Hurts does? Never loses. He never loses. The guy hasn't lost a game he started and finished in over a calendar year. September 29th last year was the Bucs game. We have gone a full year plus without seeing that guy start and finish a game that he lost. I think he is the elitist of elite. He's a freaking winner. This thing gets so overblown to me. Now, the AJ and him thing, I think there's clearly something there. That's an issue that could cause problems moving forward. But in terms of the 0 for 8 second half, I don't put that all on Jalen. I put a lot of that on the offensive line. I put that on Jalen also. I put that on the whole offense. I also think, and we don't talk about it a lot, but I think the Heat got to them. I think it was so clear. They look like a completely different team in the first half. We spent the whole week talking about how hard it is to play in Heat, and it's a real factor. And then they look like crap in the second half because they had played a half already, and the sun's beating down on them as they're talking about in the broadcast. And I think it took it out of them. I think people are overreacting way too much to what they're seeing in the first month of the season, and I'm just not going to do that. So
okay.
I don't care that he was over 8. I care that we had a win at the end of the game. I will take a quarterback with average arm talent and elite above the shoulders over a quarterback with elite arm talent and average above the shoulders every single time. So I just think we underrate that Jalen is one of the best above the shoulders guys I've ever seen in my life.
You mentioned A.J. Brown, just 14 catches so far this year through 4 games. I think 63 players have more receptions than him to date. And 2 hours after Sunday's game down in Tampa, you know what happened. He put this tweet out there.
I've talked about nothing else for the last 60
I'm
hours,
sure you know all about it. What is this going to mean, do you think, for the locker room? And we heard Hollis Thomas, I believe, say he thinks there are some legitimate issues there. What do you say?
Hugh Douglas said that as well.
Hugh Douglas, that's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think there's clearly issues. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. I mean, what's this, the 6th, 7th, 8th time, whatever, that we've heard some semblance, whether from AJ himself or from Brandon Graham or from looks on the sidelines or reading a book on the sidelines or whatever it is. They've moved through these things in the past. They keep happening and they find a way to move forward. And they obviously won the Super Bowl last year and all that. So I don't think this is, it could be something that hurts their season, but I don't expect it to be. Sirianni has done such a good job of, other than 2023 when everything fell apart. And I think there's so many extenuating circumstances with that, the Matt Patricia stuff, how bad the defense was, all that type of stuff. The blitz issues, 2023 just felt like a coming off the Super Bowl loss. I don't expect that this year. I think the defense is too good for that. I think Vic Fangio is too good for an all out collapse, but I do think there's the possibility for the AJ and Jalen thing to continue to be combustible and an issue. My big thing, I'm honestly, I understand that AJ wants the ball. I get it. I understand that receivers want their numbers and all that, but this guy makes $33 million. $33 million. He got $96 million contract. He's not getting paid next year. He's under contract. He's paid. He just won the Super Bowl. They're 4-0. He made all-pro second team last year. Shut up. Shut up. That's the point I'm at. Honestly, I've gotten to maybe the last 60 hours talking about it has got me there. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I get that he's a great player and all that, but you're 4-0. You just won the Super Bowl. I'm fine with him keeping it in-house and going to Jalen and going to Nick and going to Petula and being I have a problem. But when this guy at the end of the game does this, where he, first of all, puts out a quote about I'm just going to shrug my shoulders and go away. You did the opposite. You put the tweet out and caused the problem. This tweet that we are looking at right now is a scene. Don't make a scene. You made the scene and it's all on him. He knows exactly how this is going to be responded to. And he's going to know it the whole week after a team that's 4-0 and just went into Tampa where they're always can't win there and all that crap and won the game, that all we're talking about is AJ Brown. And it's unfair. Everyone's always what a great teammate and all that. This is so unfair to his teammates. It's so Jalen Hurts is going to have to spend his whole week talking about AJ Brown. Nick Sirianni, every interview he did, we're on the morning show with us Tuesday. Guess what? Talk about AJ Brown. Your press conference, talk about AJ Brown. Kevin Petullo, talk about AJ Brown. Jordan Mailata, the show on Monday night, talk about AJ Brown. It's unfair to his teammates. And I don't know if he realizes that or whatever, but I'm getting tired of it. That's my official statement.
All right. I want to talk Phillies baseball with you, but Broncos, Eagles this Sunday. Who you got?
Eagles. Why would you ever pick against them?
Okay.
All they do is win, Chet.
That is true.
I think they're better than the Broncos. It's a tough spot, short week for the Broncos coming east, 1:00 game. Could they lose? Of course. I don't expect it.
Okay. All right. Switching the background to Phillies. Let's talk Phils. I got to say, even with the loss of Zach Wheeler, I am far more optimistic going to this postseason than I was a year ago. You and Jack host the High Hopes podcast. Do you have high hopes for this Phillies team heading into the postseason?
Yeah, I do. I'm with you. I have more confidence in this team than any other group of this 4-year run that they've had. 2022, obviously, we gained confidence as they started on the run, the playoffs, but heading into the playoffs, they barely made it. They had 87 wins. They almost blew it to the Brewers. I think we all forget how down a lot of people were on that team until Gene Segura got that hit in St. Louis. They win game 2. We come home to the bank, and it's a beautiful thing. I think 2023 is the only other year, because last year, I'm with you. Last year, it felt like we were all trying to talk ourselves into something that we knew wasn't going to work. We knew going into that Mets series that the Mets had been a better team for 3 months. It was so clear. They had mojo, they had vibes, and the Phillies were limping into the playoffs. You could feel it. I think it was all false bravado from the fan base last year, or not. I think we were all kind of nervous about that Mets series. This year, they've been one of the best teams all year. All year from the jump, they just win. They've battled adversity. The Zach Wheeler thing, that's the kind of thing that could crush a team. And instead, they went on a run after it and used it as motivation. And they've done that all year long when they've lost guys. They've found ways to, Trey goes down, boom, they win 12 of 15 or whatever it was. Like that Met series in New York, the low point of the season where they get swept and it's a disaster. They come home and then they go, 12 of 15 or something like that then too. Like they have just responded every single time in every single way this year. The trade deadline was finally a hit. Bader, Duran, Robertson added. Like they've made difference makers come in. It's added juice to the team. I believe in this group more than I have any other group yet. But I think for me it all comes down to the Dodgers. I think, and it like feels like simple and kind of obvious to say that they're the two favorites, but I think the World Series is Phillies Dodgers. I really do. I think whoever wins that series wins the World Series. And the Mariners could win the World Series. They got great pitching. They got some dudes. They got, big dumper and that whole thing going on. They're fun. But I'm not really scared of the rest of the teams. Like the Cubs, the Padres, those teams don't scare me. The Brewers are good, but they're not like they could lose to any of these teams. It's the baseball playoffs, right? We get it. The Reds could win the next two and beat the Phillies. Like that could happen. It's baseball. But I really, when I look at it, I feel really confident. Dodgers won 15 of 20. They won last night and they're the Dodgers. So like the Dodgers could just come in and be like, hey, remember the Dodgers, the best team ever? That's us, and go on a run. But I think that Dodgers series is really going to predict who wins. I really do.
So you and I are talking in the 4:00 hour here on Wednesday. We may get some news, before tonight's show, our show at 7. You'll be at the ballpark as we speak. You and Jack Fritz watching a little scrimmage at the ballpark.
Yes, we will.
If we don't get an announcement from Rob Thompson, what is your take on who is going to be taking the mound for games 2 and 3 of the division series?
So I think it's going to be Luzardo game 2. They're throwing him today, which would line up with that Monday start. Also, we had Topper on the morning show today, and he mentioned that Ranger is still a little sore from that comebacker that he took in the last game, so that they're trying to see where Ranger's at. That's why Ranger's not pitching at all in the intra-squad today. And he talked about Luzardo. And then, when you add in Luzardo's home numbers, the, Ranger just kind of being so cool, calm, and collected, I think it just makes more sense to let Ranger walk into an opposing, building and not feel it. Whereas Luzardo, I think, we've seen the emotion. We've seen that he feeds off it. I think he's going to be more comfortable here. I think it makes so much sense to start Luzardo in game 2 at home. The interesting thing, though, was, Topper was glowing about Aaron Nola, mentioned a possible piggyback in game 3, said that in his mind, and he didn't say it's locked, but he said he wants Nola to be the 4th starter, like to get, like, of those 3 to be the other guy who gets a start. He trusts him. He's seen him in big spots. So I think we're going to get more Aaron Nola than fans are expecting heading into the playoffs as well.
What is your trust level with the core bullpen guys heading into the postseason?
Pretty good. I think, a month ago after the Duran trade, the first 3 weeks when Robertson was kicking butt and all that, we're like, I would have said, 100%. I felt awesome. Duran struggled a little bit. Robertson struggled a little bit since then, but I feel really good about the Robertson, Duran, Strom, Banks group. Like, I think those guys, I feel, and I would not have thought that I'd be throwing Tanner Banks in there, but I love him.
He's been great.
Dude, got stones. He's got stones, that guy. You can bring him in any spot. It feels like he's never intimidated, bases loaded, no out. Like, sure, I'll go in and I'll get a double play ball. Like, I really like Banksy. But I think those top 3 guys, Duran, they need Robertson to be able to last through. And Strom's been awesome. Strom looks like Matt Strom again. The last, month or so, he's really turned it back on, has been really good. So I feel really good about those guys. The questions come after that. Now, whether it's a guy like Walker Buehler or someone else helping out of the pen, that could be advantageous. But I think that the question mark guy for me is Kerkering. I don't trust Ryan Kerkering. I know that we're going to see him in a big spot or two because he is that, kind of next guy in the pen, certainly the next righty after those top 2. And, that's where I get nervous. Kerkering has not been great this year. I know that the numbers are okay, but he's let in a lot of inherited runners, and he's really seemed to falter down the stretch yet again. And we've seen him in big spots in the playoffs, and he's yet to really come through. So I'm nervous about Kerkering if he gets into a big spot. But on the whole, I feel solid. And having Duran at the back obviously makes a difference.
Well, the offense hopefully will not fizzle out in the postseason. We got Trey Turner winning the NL batting title. Kyle Schwarber, of course, the home run king and the RBI leader. Bryce Harper is Bryce Harper. Brandon Marsh had a very solid year. Are you confident the offense will come through this year?
Who could say yes, Chet? Look, we've been through it, right? So I don't think we can say that, like, I'm confident in Bryce Harper being able to kind of turn it on in October. I'm confident Kyle Schwarber will be Kyle Schwarber. The Turner thing, I don't know. That injury, will he be able to open it up in the base pass? How's his timing? But I was trusting Trey this year. I think it really comes down to, I feel so much better about Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm and JT Realmuto right now than I did heading into the playoffs last year. We've seen really good runs from them over the second half of the season, and Marsh really since May has been great. But I can't lie and say that when Brandon Marsh steps up in a big spot that I'm not going to feel the last 3 postseasons and the fact that the majority of times that he came in a big spot, he didn't come through. So I trust them more than I did last year. I trust them in general more than I have, but I really do think they can, like, I'm not going in fearing the way I expect the bats to go cold the way I expected to. I think they're better and they've had better approaches and all that this year, but it's just the last couple of years and the memories that I feel like in the moment, it'll be impossible not to feel that and to be like, I totally trust them, but more than in the past.
I can't wait, James. I can't wait.
Hey,
I'm putting 2 minutes on the clock. We're going to have some fun. James, in the movie and TV world, sequels and reboots are all the rage these days. So we're going to do something like that here. It was 4+ years ago, July of 2021, that we got you to play a little game called Seltzer Skelter. And it was so much fun that we never did it again. Until now. Pop culture trivia we're going to do. We
Love
did that
it.
once before also.
I remember that.
Trivia.
Yeah.
10 questions. You need to answer 7 of 10 correctly to get a passing grade. I have faith in you, James. So let's do it. Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
2 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
Number 1. What 2009 to 2015 NBC sitcom was set in the fictional town of Pawnee, Indiana?
Parks and Recreation.
Very
Classic.
good. Number 2. In what city was the American version of The Office set?
Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Of course. Number 3. What female singer had the huge hit Espresso in the summer of 2024 and then the hit Man-Child this summer?
Shout out to Philadelphia's owner, Bryn Mawr's own. That'd be Sabrina Carpenter.
Wow, 3 for 3. Number 4.
My daughter for
wait. This is a layup. Number 4. Who directed Titanic and the Avatar films?
Big Jim, James Cameron.
Number 5.
Not the only Big Jim on this pod. We got a couple more.
That's all right. Number 5. What 2024 movie about a stripper and her relationship with a young Russian guy took home the Oscar for Best Picture last winter?
Nora.
Loved it. One of my favorites.
Yeah, really great. She's amazing in it, Mikey. Man, and the performances are phenomenal. Very good movie.
Absolutely. Number 6, singer and actress Selena Gomez got married over the weekend. What is the name of her songwriter, producer, husband?
So this is the first one. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it is Benny Blanco.
You got it, man. I don't know if I would have gotten that if I didn't have a multiple choice situation, but yes.
What a pull there.
Woo. Number 7, Taylor Swift. You may have heard of her. She has a new album coming out in a couple of days. What is the album's title?
I know there's Showgirl, and is it The Life of a Showgirl?
The Life of a Showgirl.
Boom!
I'll take it. There you go. Number 8. The highest grossing movie across North America this year is an April release based on a popular video game that came out in 2011. Its stars include Jason Momoa and Jack Black. What is that movie?
The Minecraft movie, which I've watched with my daughter.
Woo, there you go. Yes. Number 9. What British band fronted by a couple of bickering brothers is currently out on their first tour in 16 years?
The Gallaghers, Oasis.
9 for 9. Finally, Bill didn't watch, but the Emmy Awards were handed out last month, and a series co-created and starring Seth Rogen, the big winner, including Best Comedy Series, 13 statues in total. What was it?
Everyone should watch The Studio. It is one of the funniest, best shows on television in the last decade. Like, The Studio is perfect. Watch it. It's like, I think 8 or 10 episodes. They're short, 30 or less, 35 at most. Watch The Studio. It freaking rocks.
How good was Bryan Cranston in that?
Phenomenal. Oh, it's so great. That last episode, we won't say anything other, but the last episode with Cranston, or the last 2, the one is elite stuff from Cranston. Yeah.
Perfect. 10 for 10, man. Great job. And by the way, you are now, speaking of 10s, you are now a member of the Philly Pressbox Radio 10 Timers Club. Wow, thank you for your service, my friend.
That's awesome. A true honor. I've made it finally.
You have
exciting.
made it. Go Phils.
Go Phils, Jack. Go Birds. Go Phils. What a pleasure.
Chet, it was almost like word for word what I would have said about the Eagles coming as he opened this thing up all the way through the Jalen Hurts conversation.
Yeah, how about that?
It's what I've been saying all along. And to follow that up just for a second, the thing that people I don't think are realizing, everybody's wanting entertainment, right? Score points. Early in the season like this, it's about stacking wins. I mean, you and I think, I said 3-1. I don't know if you said 3-1 or 2-2.
Yeah, one of those I would have been happy with or expected even 3-1 or 2.
Right. I mean, I think I thought we would go down to Tampa and probably lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that, I made a little list of this. I didn't know you were going to be talking about it, but I'm just going to throw this out here really quick. Burrow, Purdy, Daniels, McCarthy, Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill, George Kittle, Malik Neighbors, Nick Bosa, Joe Mixon, they're out. They're all hurt.
Yeah.
They're all hurt. The NFL, we have Goddard, who didn't practice again today. Dickerson, who's been struggling to be healthy. Lane Johnson, as you mentioned, banged up. It's not about the entertainment at this point. It's about surviving. The NFL does a disservice to these guys, in my opinion, by doing preseason like they do. It takes 4 or 5 weeks to get ready to go. And as you see, top-notch players, hell, I just ran down a dozen of them, big-name players that are out, and some for the season. So it's not good for the Eagles. Just keep winning. Just keep staying healthy. The next 4 games should be a lot better than the first 4 games. But there's a chance, Chet. Denver, at the Giants, at Minnesota, and the Giants back home, and the bye. There's a chance this team could be 8-0.
Yeah, take it 1 week at a time. But, if they can get past this week especially, you would think that they would be. And I would be going to Green Bay to see an undefeated Philadelphia Eagles team.
Right. Well, they come out of the bye week 9, and the next 4 are tough again. Green Bay being one of them. I think at Dallas is one of them. They have 4 tough games back there. So this little window here and leading into the bye, and got a short week next week, but you got 10 days off. We got to get healthy and stay healthy. So, in the meantime, everybody's worried about who's not getting catches and who's doing this and that. Just keep winning. Keep stacking wins.
Yeah. So, and as PJ noted, AJ did kind of apologize today, explain his situation, just, a little frustration, but he's all about winning. He is happy in Philadelphia. So he answered that question, certainly. So yeah, like you said, just keep winning. And hopefully by, week 6, week 7, the offense will be clicking like we know it can.
Yeah. Well, I think you can't flip a switch in this league, but what did they do against the Rams? In the second half, they basically
flipped the switch at halftime. Yeah,
they flipped the switch, and they opened things up. I would venture to guess we've probably seen no more than 20% of this offense.
Right.
The playbook's closed. They're just running the same stuff that they always have. And it's a marathon, not a sprint.
I don't know how you feel, but I am a little concerned about Saquon Barkley. He's certainly not looking like the same guy we saw last year. And some of that is what happens to running backs who have that many touches in one season. They frequently have a not so great following season. And I think there's some truth to that.
I'm not too concerned about that, actually. I'm more concerned about Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, and Stein is struggling a little bit too.
Tyler Steen, yeah.
You got Steen, sorry. So you got 3 guys up front that are banged up, and Steen being new. I'm more worried about that than I am Barkley. Barkley's going to get his space. They're loading the box to prevent him from running, and the Eagles have kind of chose not to pass and not open up the offense yet. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay as long as they stay healthy.
I'll take your word for it.
All right. Well, let's move on because we could talk about this all day, but we got other stuff to talk about too.
We do.
Hey, did you know Philly Pressbox Radio is part of the STT Sports Network, as in Set the Trends? It's a network set up by our pal Phil Stiefel, host of the terrific Trending in the AM show that you can find every weekday morning on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel. Check out Phil. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Phil's show is on there, and so is ours. Yep. Philly Pressbox Radio can be found there in addition to on our own YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Again, it's the STT Sports Network setting the trends for what sports talk should be. Yeah. Chet, it's Red October, and we're loaded up with Phillies and Eagles, and that means there's a lot going on over at the Irish Rover Station House.
If you're a viewer or listener of Philly Pressbox Radio, you know that the Irish Rover Station House is our longest running sponsor, and they've got some great events on the calendar this fall. Let's get the details from the Irish Rover's Christina Gaskill. Hey, Chris, how you been?
Hey, Chad, how are you?
I am wonderful. Well, Chris, this weekend brings a fun annual celebration to the Irish Rover's patio. It's a favorite event of mine and yours. Tell everybody what we're talking about.
Well, it's Oktoberfest, so one day a year we turn our patio into a beer garden. We'll be featuring all of our favorite German beers and fall offerings, so there's some pumpkin spice stuff in there as well. We'll be doing our German fare, Knockwurst, Bratwurst, Schnitzel. Also stein hoisting, which is the best event we do here, holding those giant liters full of water. Our friend Jamie from Trogs Brewing will also be with us, and she never comes empty-handed, so I'm sure she'll have plenty of stuff to give away to everybody. So I hope you'll join us. It's supposed to be a beautiful day.
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned the stein hoisting. I think my cousin Art's wife, Karen, won the event a year or two ago.
Yes. She was like a reigning champion a couple years in a row. I hope she comes back this week to defend her title.
I talked to her the other day. She's planning to be there, so that's going to be fun. I'll be there as well. Can't wait. Hey, Tuesday the 14th brings another one of those paint and sip events. They're always a big hit, are they not?
They are. They're so much fun, too. You just come in, you order tickets online ahead of time, and then you learn how to paint something and have a couple cocktails with some friends.
Hey, the Phillies are back in the postseason. It begins on Saturday, another Red October. I'm guessing all of the games will be on the many TVs at the Rover?
Absolutely. We can't wait to see what they do this year.
Are there any specials or anything during the games?
Phillies game, you can get Ultra Buckets, 5 for $15, and Bud Light Drafts on special for $3.
Cool. Well, you've got trivia Wednesday evenings, dinner specials Thursday through Sunday, live music on Saturday night, always something happening at the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne. Great selection of beers, too. Hey, what is that time again for Saturday's Oktoberfest?
So it's this Saturday, October 4th. It's 11 to 6 p.m. Stein hoisting somewhere around 3 to 5.
Chris Gaskill from the Irish Rover. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
Hi, this is Ray Dinger. And it is always fun to talk sports with these two guys, Bill and Chet, on Philly Pressbox Radio.
Hey, Chet, we're going to get the Ray in just a second. One more football note I wanted to throw out there. I don't know if you saw this. The 128 modern players have been announced for the class of 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame. Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb, LaShawn McCoy, Ricky Waters, Troy Vincent, David Akers, and Brian Mitchell are Eagles or former Eagles that have made that list of 128. It goes down to 25. Then it goes to
Seth Joyner also, right?
I did not see Seth. I thought he was on there, but
I thought somebody. I saw somebody posted Seth Joyner was.
I thought I did too, but I just looked at the list when I made this list, and I did not see him.
Well, that's not right.
Right. But anyway, it goes to 4. They only can select 4 or 5 under the current bylaws. We're at 128. Might be a rough road for any of these guys. Although Shady McCoy gets a lot of love out there. So we'll see. All right. Hey, Chet, hockey season's fast approaching. So perfect timing for you to go see Ray Diddy's new play Spinner at the Delaware Theater last weekend. I'm anxious to hear about it since I asked you about it and you wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, I know you've been to the venue, Bill, the Delaware Theater Company, a real cool place. And Spinner is definitely worth seeing. For those who missed Ray talking about it on our show in late August, it's the story of Brian Spinner Spencer, a former NHL player who had a decent 10-year career with 4 different teams, and his father, Roy, who loved his son but took to extremes in an effort to ensure that the CBC's Hockey Night in Canada carried Brian's second season debut one December night in 1970. Ray actually wrote about the tragic event at the time. If you don't know what happened, look it up. Yeah, he wrote about it for the Evening Bulletin bulletin right after it happened and decided all these years later to turn it into a play. And man, great move by Ray. As described on the Delaware Theater Company's website about the play, Spinner is not just another sports story. It's a journey into the human spirit where determination collides with obsession. And the dreams we chase can either lift us to greatness or tear everything we love apart. Yeah, it's a powerful tale of sacrifice, family, and the lengths we'll go to make our dreams a reality, even when the cost is too high. All right, the cast is terrific. Some of the finest actors in the region, as Ray told us. Glenn Macnow has a videotaped cameo. If I had one complaint, it's maybe that it was too short, something I never say about movies these days. The actual play, directed smartly by Matt Silva, clocks in at only about an hour and a quarter, though every performance is followed by a Q&A with Ray and a wonderful guest or two. The night I saw it, the guests were Jimmy and Joe Watson, who played against Brian Spencer throughout the 1970s, including in the 1975 Stanley Cup Finals. It was an interesting discussion with the Watson brothers, giving their memories of Spinner Spencer and more. And now you have just a few more opportunities to see Spinner at Wilmington's Delaware Theater Company, and you should. It runs through this Sunday, October 5th.
Very good. So, hey, since we're talking about hockey, Chet, the Flyers 8 days away. They open up on a Thursday night in Florida against the defending Stanley Cup champion Panthers. They actually played the Panthers twice in the first 3 games. I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Hard to believe it is hockey season already, or it will be in 8 days. Tough way to open the season, though, playing the defending champs a couple of times in the first week. Gotta be honest, Bill, I'm pretty much focused on the Eagles and Phillies right now. Haven't been keeping tabs on the day-to-day, training camp and preseason action that the Flyers are involved with. What are you seeing and hearing about this team?
Well, they've given up an awful lot of goals. And Rick Tocchet has made it clear that he's not happy about that. It looks like Sam Ersson is going to be goalie 1 for us. Dan Vlader, I think that's how you spell it, Vladr.
Yeah,
looks like he's going to be the backup. If you look at the guys on the current roster, Chet, it doesn't look like it's a whole lot different than last year. We'll have to see as the final week of cuts comes out, but it looks very similar at this point.
Yeah, you hope that some of the young guys will continue to develop, especially, Mishkov. I don't know if Jet Luchenko is going to make the team this year or not, but the goaltending is always going to be a concern. I know they have 1 or 2 guys who are still in the minors or juniors who aren't ready yet in goal, but for now it's going to be Ersson and Vladr. So we shall see. But yeah, we're going to talk a lot more hockey next week on our Flyers season preview show.
Yes, sir.
I have more hockey stuff.
You wanted to talk a little more hockey, didn't you?
I do. And it's a kind of a follow-up to the whole Spinner thing and the post-play talkback that I got to witness with the Watson brothers, because they spent a good bit of that little panel discussion talking with Ray, not surprisingly, about the late, great Bernie Parent, who himself had been the post-play guest on opening night a mere 4 days before he left us. Yeah, so Wednesday the 17th, Bernie Parent was the talkback guest after the play. Here is Jim Watson talking about Bernie and how everybody associated with the Flyers and Philly area sports fans in general were saddened by the Bernie news.
And this guy was just an incredible ambassador for hockey. But I'd say for the whole region, everybody that knew Bernie loved Bernie. He always had a great disposition, always very friendly, always wanting to cut a joke and just make you feel good. And that's what Bernie's mission was, just trying to make people feel better.
Now, on a lighter note, Bill, Ray mentioned something that Bernie had said on that very theater stage on opening night, September 17th, regarding playing and beating the Sabres in the 1975 Cup Finals.
The Buffalo Sabres were a great team. I mean, we all know how good the Flyers were. They were the defending Cup champions, but the Buffalo Sabres were really good. And I was saying they had the guys that Jimmy was just talking about. They had Gilbert Perreault. They had René Robert. They had Danny Kerr. They had Rick Martin. They had all of those guys. And I said that was like an all-star team. And Bernie was sitting here, and Bernie tapped me on the leg and reached for the microphone, and he said, "Yes, but we had the better goaltender."
That was great.
Yeah. Interesting, as Jimmy was talking in that little clip, Joe's face. Joe looked like he was ready to give it up right there.
Well, yeah, a little before that, Joe had talked about Bernie, of course, and how close a friendship they had. They were actually together Friday night, 2 days before Bernie passed, and they had made plans to have lunch together last Thursday, the day of the play. So, yeah, Joe got a little teary-eyed, not surprisingly.
Yeah, well, it's a shame. And I did see that the Flyers already did do a little pregame deal there at the Wells. It's going to be the Wells Fargo until I figure out that it's not the other night in the preseason game. So I guess they'll be doing a bunch more as the season goes on, I think. And I don't even think they've announced a whole lot about it.
I think the funeral itself is or was private this week, and then they're going to have a public one, a memorial in early November, I believe. So,
yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
And then they haven't said, but I would think they'll be wearing the number 1 somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
On their uniform. I'm sure they'll be doing that as well. But good stuff. Great that the play was good. Obviously, I'm not going to get to see it this time around. But
if anybody's in the area, in the Wilmington, Delaware area, it does run through Sunday. So there are shows Thursday night, Friday night, 2 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday that's competing against an Eagles game. But I'm sure, some people will be there enjoying the finale for Spinner. Ray did a great job putting that together, and Matt Silva, the director. So, if you have an opportunity, go see Spinner.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, Chet, what could be better than Red October Phillies baseball and 4-0 Eagles tailgating with the best tailgaters in Philadelphia, Bob Cavanaugh and a gang of Cavs Philly tailgates?
Well, Cavs Philly Tailgates has been cooking up a terrific catering business for some 35 years. You know them best for their tailgate parties. Cavs is a 3-time winner of Philly Tailgate's Jack Daniels Great American Tailgate Party Contest and a past winner of the Philly Daily News Tailgate Award. Cavs also does corporate events, parties, you name it. Of course, Cav hosts tailgates before all Eagles games outside the link. And let's see if I can find the upcoming schedule for that. Yeah, there you go. There were a couple of October home games against the Broncos this Sunday, and then the Giants later in the month, plus all future games. Get details on all events at Cavs' website. That is phillytailgates.com. And if you have questions, you can email them at cavscatering@verizon.net. Cavs Philly Tailgates, Bill, they're the way to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw where Cav just got back from Ireland. He was on a little road trip. So
I didn't know that.
Good for him. Yeah, I think I just saw. I think it was this morning. I saw some pictures that he had posted that he had been in Ireland. I don't know if he was over there for the game. Because they played there,
yes.
Minnesota and Pittsburgh. I don't know if he was there for that or what.
And as you know, I'll be heading to Ireland very soon, Saturday.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about that later.
Hearing all about that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Chet, this next segment of our show is for you and for you alone. You can talk about the Sixers opening camp. I have nothing for them other than Tyrese Maxey is going into his 6th season already.
Yeah.
How has that happened?
Time flies. And I know you don't care much about them, but you actually sent me the roster today. So, yeah, there's 20 guys on the roster. They'll cut that down to 15 eventually. I was going to give everybody like 2 or 3 minutes on each and every player, but you would doze off during that. So I'm not going to do that.
Absolutely. Wouldn't take long.
The Sixers did last week officially open training camp, and right away, of course, there was another injury. We got word that Jared McCain, who missed well over half of his otherwise impressive rookie season, was sidelined with a UCL tear in his right thumb. He had surgery on that thumb yesterday. He's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks, so he will obviously miss the start of the season. It begins October 22nd, and then we'll see how much more time he'll miss in about a month or so when they do, reassess. Sixers Media Day was last Friday, and we heard from all the players, but Neither Paul George nor Joel Embiid would give an estimate on how soon they might be ready to play in actual games. So here we go again, Bill. That's enough Flyers or Sixers talk.
Well, I will make one comment that I saw a kind of a review of the media day.
Yeah.
And they said that the Sixers had a completely different approach this time as an organization. They came out. They didn't have all the hoopla. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It was more, we are what we are, and we're going to try to be better kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I guess that's smart. I mean, after what we saw last year, that debacle. Again, the Vegas over-under, I think 42.5. Here come the comments. I know. And yes, I did, in fact, as I mentioned about a month or two ago, I bet under 42.5. I never, ever bet against my team in an effort, to win money. But I figured, hey, either I'm going to win a little money or they're going to surprise me and compete for a playoff spot. So either way, I can't lose.
Well, we'll make final predictions as the season comes. I'll try to figure out enough about that without having any interest. But 42 is 42 and 40 if I could figure that out. So
that would be a borderline playoff team. So, we'll see. But Bill, let's tell everybody right now, on October 22nd, 3 weeks from tonight, we are going to have our Sixers season preview show. And to quote Tom McGinnis,
get excited.
There you go.
There you go. Hey, speaking of excited, we had a great guest in Mr. Excitement, James Seltzer, tonight, who's coming to Philly Pressbox Radio next week, and we're going to talk Flyers.
We are indeed, Bill. Let's see. Next week. I have it on here somewhere, Bill. I can tell you who it is. It's a guy that has covered the Flyers for some 3 decades. He's also got a new book that actually comes out next Tuesday, so the timing is perfect on that front. We're talking about our old pal, Sam Carchidi. Yeah, his book, based on also the TV series that he's working on, is called Bullies. Comes out on Tuesday. He'll be joining us live on Wednesday. And Bill, I will hopefully be on with both you and Sam from a place far, far away, nearly 3,200 miles away to be precise, Cork, Ireland, where it will be midnight next Wednesday when it's 7 o'clock here. So, for you and Sam, I'm going to do my best to be there and be live.
All right. Well, I have a quick question because we have about 30 extra seconds right at the moment. Where is Cork, Ireland in relation to, why are we going there?
Well, my wife and I went to the UK in 2017, I believe, had a great time, but it was split up among London, Edinburgh, Scotland, and Dublin. And we really liked all 3 of them, but we decided we would go back for a full vacation to Ireland. So this particular vacation, we depart Saturday night. We'll start in Dublin, where I hope to find a bar carrying the Eagles game Sunday at 6 p.m. Dublin time. Supposedly that is a thing. They do have, sports bars that will carry American football. From Dublin, we go to Cork, which is somewhere, I guess, relatively close to Dublin on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we go to Galway. I don't know my geography, but they're all, relatively close. And I believe we go from place to place by bus, part of a tour group. So usually it's like 20, 25 people max. So it's a good tour group. We've used them 2 or 3 times before. So I don't know where Cork is beyond that, but I'll be there.
Well, I will try to do you a favor.
Okay.
There was a picture that I saw, and I don't remember because it wasn't important to me till right now. There was a picture that was posted on social media of the Vikings and Steelers fans all together outside of a sports bar in Dublin, getting a group picture of the 2 teams' fans at the sports bar. I will try to find that for you and get you the name of that pub.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I did look on the internet, and it did mention that there were several bars in Dublin that carried American football games. So I will find one.
I will find it for you too.
All
right. Hey, it's time for us to make our weekly picks, and it was not a great week for me. I know that. How did Boop, Bob Patron Jr., and you do in week 4?
It was not a good week for anybody, but a rough week. By the way, the Packers, Cowboys crazy game that ended in 40-40 overtime tie. For our purposes, we will consider that a loss for everybody. So, yeah. Let's see. For the week, here's what happened.
I don't want no sneaking loss because of the Cowboys.
Boop went 2-3. I made a typo, Beryl. I'm sorry. You were actually 2-3, not 2-4. I was 1-4. For the season, Boop is alone in first place now at 14-6. You and I are tied for second, just one game back at 13-7. So there you go. We got off to a great start, but had a rough week 4.
I did not realize that you had such a bad week. I knew I had a bad week. I didn't know that you did. Well,
yeah, I picked one game different from you guys, whatever it was, and I lost it. Now, the good news for me is I'm in some other pick'em leagues, and I changed my Washington pick to Atlanta, so I got that one right. But we have a rule here amongst us that we can't change our picks after Wednesday. So, yeah, I took the loss there.
All right. So just to clarify for anyone how we make our picks, we pick 5 games. We pick just the winner, no point spreads, always the NFC East games, always the Sunday night football game, and then we throw in an additional game as needed to get to the 5. This week, we didn't need to throw in an extra game as we get ready to make our picks for this week.
That is right. We got 5 games, 5. Some of them are tough. Some of them are easy, but we'll see what we can do.
I don't think anything's easy. The Giants beat the Chargers. So,
yeah.
Hey, so here we go. Speaking of the Giants, at the Saints with the Saints -1.5. How did that happen? Cowboys at the Jets, Cowboys -2.5. The Commanders at the Chargers, Chargers -2.5. Sunday night football, New England at Buffalo, the Bills are -7.5. And then the Broncos at the Eagles are -3.5. So who do we have? Let's start with Giants at Saints, Saints -1.5.
I'm having some problems with my printer in my man cave, so I've just used the internet here to check Boop's picks via email and haven't looked at them previously. But Giants and Saints, here's what Boop says. New Orleans is 0-4 for the 9th time in its 59-year history. They are 3-6 in subsequent games 5s. Make it 3-7. So Boop is picking the Giants. I'll tell you what, I'm picking New Orleans in this one because A, they're the home team. B, I think people will have some film on Jackson Dart now. Plus the Giants lost Malik Neighbors for the season. I'm taking the Saints to win at home.
I am sticking with the Giants. I'm not sure how the Saints are favored against anybody, but maybe it's because of injuries to the Giants, but the Saints aren't very good.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm taking the Giants. Cowboys at the Jets, Cowboys -2.5. That surprised me a little bit that line was so low.
Here's what Boop says. You know what they say, never go to New York without a tie. I'll be here all week. Boop, that funny guy. So Boop is picking, the Cowboys. I'm taking Dallas also. Yeah, I'm surprised that one's only 2.5. The Jets stink. Cowboys aren't great, but the Jets stink.
I'm taking the Cowboys for sure. Washington Commanders at the Chargers. Chargers -2.5.
All right, let's see. Boop says Los Angeles has a chance to go undefeated against the AFC West, but winless against the NFC East. Boop is picking the Commanders. Ooh, I don't know. I'm picking the Chargers with the injuries to Washington.
Well, Jaden Daniels is playing.
Okay.
For Washington. The Chargers have 3 offensive linemen out.
Oh, now you tell me.
Well, that's why I didn't tell you. If you'd have listened to the list I put out, though, you'd have probably got it. Joe Alt is out, Becton is out, and another one is out. They're out 3 linemen. I switched my pick from Chargers to Washington. I'm taking Washington.
Okay, I will not switch mine. I will stick with
that was
Chargers.
Only because of the injuries that when I made that list during your interview, I saw all them guys out.
Gotcha.
All right, New England at Buffalo Sunday night. Bills -7.5. That on paper looks like a no-brainer.
Yeah, should be. Boop says, since last Thanksgiving and including postseason, Buffalo has two turnovers in 13 games. Just 2 turnovers. Hard to do. His pick is the Bills. My pick is the Bills. I'm going to guess your pick is the Bills.
The Bills. All right, Broncos at Eagles. Eagles -3.5. Is this a letdown game? This is a trap game?
I came very, very close to picking Denver. Let's see what Boop says. Uh-oh, my phone just crapped out. Here we go. Boop says the Birds are going to win. You just have to figure out which half is going to be the blowout and which half is going to be the nail biter. So yeah, Boop is picking the Eagles. I was leaning towards Denver because I don't think the Eagles are going to run the table for the first, 8 or 9 weeks. It could be a letdown game, but then I went to thinking, well, Denver had the Monday night game and now they're playing a 1:00 road game on the East Coast. So that old theory, you don't ever take that team. That's what swayed me to picking the Eagles again.
I'm taking the Eagles, and it was never a question in my mind this week. Denver's not a bad club now. I mean, They could win. They could win, but I'm going to take the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to roll. They're going to get it together.
All right.
So there we have it. So what do we have? We only have, we have a couple different ones, right? You took a couple different. Me and Boop look like we're pretty much the same. I'm
counting on New Orleans. Come on, Saints. Do me proud.
All right. Next up is our margin of victory pool. I stunk that up too. How are our standings after week 4?
Let's have a look. The margin of victory pool, like a survivor pool where you pick one team, and if your team wins, you get the margin of victory, thus the name. So let's see how we did last week. Bill, you picked those Chargers who lost to the Giants, so you get 0 points and an L. Boop is just rolling along, man. He picked the Lions. They won by 24. I picked the Bills. They did win, but only by 12. So Boop, a perfect 4-0, and is pretty much running away with it through 4 weeks of the season anyway. He's got 77 points. You and I have 36 and 31, respectively. Slow down, Boop.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, Chet. We'll be all right. Just hang in there. It's early yet.
All right, let's see.
All right.
Boop. Oh, no, wait. Boop, I got to get Boop's pick. I took it off my screen. Boop is picking the Cardinals over the Titans. The Cardinals. I am picking the Detroit Lions over Cincinnati. The Bengals stink.
Yeah, but they aren't awful on defense necessarily.
Yeah.
I am taking the Dallas Cowboys against the Jets.
Oh, boy.
Well, at some point I was going to have to use them, and the Jets are not very good. The only thing I was thinking about is it was in New York and not Dallas, but they're not so good.
Joe Namath sold his soul to the devil in order to win their only Super Bowl. The Jets have been jinxed since, according to Ken.
Oh, shoot. All right. We have anything else, odds and ends, to close up with?
Well, Bill, you did not mention or put on the agenda the fact that Penn State lost in overtime to Oregon. James Franklin falling to 4-21 at Penn State against top 10 opponents.
Interesting game. The most conservative game plan we've ever seen come out of their offensive coordinator. It was like a heavyweight bout where the first half they just kept punching each other to see what's going to happen, and second half both teams came out and played a whole lot differently. But you can't wait until you're down 14 points to turn on the gas, and they just didn't have enough at the end. And Franklin and Aller are going to take the hits. That's normal, but the defense ran out of gas. I thought the defense played pretty well. Offensive line got their heinies kicked. Leave it that way.
As you know, I was at a concert yet again on Saturday night seeing David Wasikkinen's In the Pocket Project, but I did get to listen to the last 6 minutes of regulation and then all of the overtime on the way home. I watched the highlights the other day, and you had issues with that one replay showing the Oregon guy down by a blade of grass. And I looked, and I think they got the call right, Bill. In fact, there's a close-up picture. His knee was definitely on the ground while he still had possession.
Actually, that picture there is a better picture than what I saw on TV.
Yeah.
As far as him being down.
So because they did get it right.
They actually came out the next day and said, the grass is not down. The ground is down. The grass is not down.
Really?
Yep.
I would have thought the grass would be considered part of the ground.
You would think. And I thought that's how they ruled it, because during the telecast. I didn't see a picture as clear as what that one there looks like. It was a 14-point swing.
Yeah.
And I will throw this out. Different game. The ACC, which plays noon games most of the time, they have a thing now where they go under the cover, under the hood, the referees. All the conversation between the headquarters and the referees is all on TV.
Huh.
All the conversation back and forth. We're seeing this. We're seeing this. We're seeing this. No, he's good here. We're going to stick with this call here. It's all there for you to see. It's pretty cool.
Very
pretty cool.
Very interesting.
Yeah. They're the only ones that do it, but it's the ACC that does it.
Now, Penn State should wallop UCLA this weekend, and the schedule gets a little tougher again later in October and November.
Yeah, they got to go to Iowa. They got to go to Ohio State.
And Indiana, who's playing surprisingly well.
Yeah, so they're going to have to get it together. And again, James Franklin takes the hits. Drew Howard takes the hits. That's goes with the territory.
Hey, if anybody's in the Langhorne area this Saturday, please check out the Irish Rovers Oktoberfest. I will be there because our flight leaving for Ireland doesn't leave till 8:15 at night. So what better way to start your Saturday than a couple of afternoon beverages at the Irish Rover?
There you go. All right. Thanks for checking in, guys. Appreciate it. Big B, Kid, Bob Moser. Let's wrap this thing up, Chet. Let's thank tonight's special guest, James Seltzer, our sponsors, the Irish Rover Station House, Cavs, Philly Tailgates, and PPCC 118 Raz Room. For Jim, Chet, Chesko, this is Bill Furman. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll join Philly Pressbox Radio next Wednesday, October the 8th, from Ireland at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You see us live on Facebook, on our Philly Pressbox Radio YouTube channel, and on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel. Listen on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the others. High hopes, Philadelphia sports fans. Let's go Phillies and go Birds.